Hi,
So,
sorry I'm late.
oh, no worries. It's fine. Don't worry. So welcome to the final level up call of this series. And essentially, just to kind of run you through what we did at the beginning of the year was exactly the same. So we had 6 weeks of calls, and then that was kind of for everyone that was active Emerald or above. Didn't matter whether or not you'd hit Success Club. And then kind of from there onwards, we just had a more casual Success Club mastermind group. Really just because we'd provided all the training that you need in a kind of intense 6 week period. And I really hope you guys have, whether or not you've been in this group before, felt the benefit of it. I know certainly last week Jeff's call was just unbelievably helpful, and I know for a lot of us it was just really good to have those reminders of how that compensation plan works down to the devil of the detail. But really, my reasons behind that is that I don't want to just run a group all the time where you're getting weekly calls and kind of seemingly sometimes ending up just having a call for the sake of having a call, but also just really creating that ethos and understanding in the team and your team as you build and grow. As a result of what I've learned, through being a coach for 3.5 years, is that these calls and this additional time that you get from your coach or your coach's coach need to be earned on the basis that if you're doing all of these things, you will be hitting Success Club. Okay. And today, what I'm going to do is actually run through kind of a series of questions. There's a bit of a gut check that I'm going to do, which is something that Danielle Natoni shared ages ago, like literally when I was quite a new coach. And it's basically a checklist. I don't think I've actually shared it with you guys, but I'll share it after the call. But I'm going to get you to answer the questions because it's really good for you to get. Yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry. It's because I was away, but yeah, absolutely. I will share it. It's a really good quick glimpse and gut check. And sometimes even less so now, but when I was a newer coach, even like just 1 year in and I was kind of all in, I would do that gut check that I'm going to share with you guys in a minute, which is a series of questions. And I'd be like, I'm kind of not doing that. And her gut check is literally a fire because it will call you out on any area of your business where you're not quite cutting the mustard and therefore you're not quite making Success Club. And I don't want to make this all about numbers, but I do want you guys here and all of you guys are intelligent and understand that if you're doing all of the things that you should be doing in your business, you will be hitting Success Club. And in order to build a viable long-term business, you need to be making sure that that's the minimum, not just going out there and finding free people, but making sure you are treating your business as a business. You have got an absolute system, a non-negotiable system. You understand why you're doing it and what the vision that you're creating is and why. Because if you've not got that clear, it's not all going to click. And really just saying to yourself, am I showing up as that coach that wants to achieve this vision? Or am I kind of showing up sometimes as that coach that wants to achieve this vision? And sometimes I'm just letting myself off the hook. Because again, that ain't going to fly long term if that's what is happening. So you'll need to dig that one out. So just wanted to kind of, before we go into the checklist, just August, just really kind of briefly, I know I had a chat with Jem earlier on. If you've been in this team any stretch of time, you will know there are seasons where we are flying and there are also seasons which are really tough. Okay, that comes with this market, it comes with any market that you work in, and I will honestly hand on heart say that we are in a tough season. Okay, there's a number of reasons for that, and I'm not saying that so that you guys go, oh, okay, no, it's all right then, it doesn't matter, because we should be just doing the same consistent daily tasks regardless of what outcome we're getting. We should be trusting that process. And I can honestly say, hand on heart right now, I haven't changed anything that I've been doing. Even whilst I've been away, I've been doing the same number of connections, invites, all of the follow-ups I should have been doing, and everything that I would usually do, apart from one-to-one calls with my coaches, which has obviously been difficult because of the time difference. So just wanted to share that and say that certainly because of where I'm at with my business, and I know, every day I'm basically feeding the top of that funnel in the same way, right? So I'm like this all the time. It is a tricky market. Okay, I'm at Success Club 4. We are the 11th of the month. I would usually be a long way further on for where we are in the month. And I just want to start the call by saying, if you're feeling like it's tough out there and you're getting a lot of no's and you're getting a lot of not right nows, that is absolutely fine. I have an expectation that at the moment we're going to be getting at. People are on holiday. The schools are off. Okay, we've moved through a really tricky period with COVID. We've got a nation that's unclear on what's going to happen when we get to September, October. I think we all don't really trust that we're not going to have another lockdown. Okay, so just take it from an outsider's perspective that what is happening right now is probably a summer that's highlighted, right? Because people haven't been able to see other people, so they're going to be seeing more people. They're going to be letting themselves off the hook more in terms of, you know, getting their exercise in, because they haven't been able to see people and they haven't been able to get on holiday. Okay, I'm not sharing that so that you go, oh, do you know what, that it's fine, so I'll just reel back. Because the worst thing we can do right now, and I share this all the time, is in the troughs, you need to be pedaling just as hard, if not harder, because what you do in the trough is going to determine what happens at the peak. Okay, and if you hit a trough and go, fuck it, I'm just going to do 50% what I usually do, guess what, you're going to be double fucked when you come out the other side, excuse my language. That's what happens. So when I hit a hard market, I go, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the hard market. Do I let that bear reflection on me? Do I fuck? No, it's not a reflection on me. Do I feel sorry for myself and go, oh, this is way too tough at the moment, I just can't find the motivation? No, I just continue, okay? And the more that as you hit these peaks and troughs, imagine a graph, that you can do this, the more that when you come out that trough, you're going to hit another peak. And what you do in that trough is going to determine the rise of that peak, okay? So be a badass and get after that trough and say, right, I'm going to own it so that in the next month, 2 months, I'm going to be flying out of here, okay? Again, August, we've got family. I've got family. You know, I've been away for ages. Of course, I haven't been able to operate my business exactly as I would have been able to. But also, it's important to understand and know that this business is built so that you can go on holiday and you can go away. We're not robots, right? So just understand that there are going to be months in your business where you're not on fire, because you can't always be on fire. And it's important that you get that rest time. And what we're doing here, if we've got families, is creating a life where we can do those things and enjoy them, okay? So let's not forget that. But again, not to let you off the hook, right? Whilst I've been away, as I said, I've continued tipping into that pipeline in the same way every single day, okay? Apart from when I was on the plane, because there's no Wi-Fi. So just, you know, before we go into that checklist, just think about what you've gained from this group. And I want you just to think about that. You can write that down now. What have you gained as a result of being part of this group? You can write it down. You can share it in the comments in the chat if you like. And just think about what this has done for you in terms of your own belief in yourself, you know, your business, whatever it might be. And then therefore, why it is so fundamental that you are pushing yourself to up level and be a part of a group that are striving for more. This is the lifeblood of our business. These groups are the lifeblood of our business, because we are going to do what other people around us do. The more we step into our fear collectively together, whilst obviously running our own businesses, the more we are going to rise together. And we might be in a bit of a trough now, but I want you to think about what you have got out this group, and therefore how you are going to execute your business over the next 2, 3, 6 months, a year, okay? Because this group isn't here, as I said, to spoon feed you so that you get this all the time, because that's not going to produce self-sufficient leaders. It's not going to produce entrepreneurs owning their own businesses. It's going to give you guidance. And I want you guys to come out of this feeling really confident that, you know what, Izzy's shared a lot of what she does. You know, Jess shared loads on the compensation plan. So hopefully that's really helped you like click those bits together. And actually, I have everything I need to know. I just need to take action now. So if you're not taking action on those things we've learned, like the marketing calendar, which is obviously fundamental, why not? Okay, because I can't dig that out for you. If you've got another coach, they can't dig that out for you. This business is yours and yours alone. Okay, so you can achieve whatever you want to with this business. And I will say that till I'm blue in the face. You can. I'm proof of that. And I continue to be proof of that. And we've got coaches in this team that are starting and continuing to be proof of that. So either you get with that and you call yourself out on that crap that you're not doing, or you're not going to see that vision, but you're all capable of doing it. Okay. But you've got to dig that out for yourself. So this checklist, I'm just going to run through, and then at the end of the call, I'm going to share it. I might even share it in the team page actually, because it's absolutely, I just absolutely love it. Okay, so just, and write down the answers, yes or no, and at the end, you're going to top them up, okay? So hand on heart, being honest, number one, are you being proof the products work? Okay. Yes or no? And this question, as an aside, sometimes we're not being proof the products work, right? That's usually when we hit a big dip in our business. If we're not being proof the products work, that's question number one. We have got to sort that out, because everything about this business rides on that. Okay. And if we are creating marketing plans and sneak peeks and doing all the things, but we are not doing that, we cannot build an amazing business. We cannot. Okay. Is your status still active? I think that's definitively a yes here. Are you receiving a monthly subscription product? Question number 3. That's a given. Have you completed a program from start to finish this year? Question number 4. Do you listen to the National Wake Up Call each week, live or recorded? Question number 5. Question number 6. Do you get on our team calls live or recorded? Question number 7. Are you registered for summits? Question number 8. Are you planning to attend the next super weekend? Now, they've been virtual, so it's kind of a bit of a null and void question, to be honest, because I'm pretty certain you've all been attending, and if not, I don't know why you wouldn't have. Okay. So that was question number 8. Question number 9, can you verbalize why you want to? i.e., why you're doing this business, what it means for you. If somebody said to you, like, why are you doing it? What does it mean to you? Could you immediately on the spot answer that question? Okay, and just be honest. Question number 10, are you showing up daily on social media? Question number 11, are you posting on purpose and with a strategy? Really important. Question number 12, did you hit Success Club last month? Question number 13, did you finish a personal development book or program last month? Meaning like to do with personal growth. Question number 14, did you successfully implement a tip, tool, or strategy from a recent training? And 15, are you actively engaged with everyone on your team? And I would say question number 15 is like, are you in the team page? Are you cheering your teammates on? Are you aware of what's going on in there? Or are you just like, oh, I missed it? Okay, so just, and I just absolutely, I think Danielle Natoni is an absolute genius. If you didn't watch her call from the Business Builder page the other day, you need to go and watch it. She is just so cut and dry, and makes it all clear. What she says, and this is like for girls in the team who've got coaches, if her coaches, and this is something that, you know, I used to do every single month, I put this up and say, gut check, what do you score? If you score less than 13 out of 15, you don't get a call with me. Okay, so really think about that. And I think in this group, actually, most of you are doing that. Okay, that's why you're part of this group. But it's just such a useful checklist, and I will share it afterwards because you guys might want to share it with coaches and just to help them figure out, right, where am I? And again, for newer coaches, just really getting the bones of what is it I need to be doing. Okay, so did we all get 13 or more? Okay, well, that's okay. I'm not doing it to call people out. I really don't want this to be a call of call outs. But if you're not, then it's not like shame on you, because again, like someone like Hard, you're quite a new coach. It's just, for me, when I was a newer coach and I saw that checklist, I wasn't sometimes hitting 13, and it just immediately highlighted what I needed to work on and why, and get to it in a really structured way. So I'll send it afterwards. Rachel. Oh, thanks, Rachel. So in answer to the question, what you got from the group, she put more structure, consistency, making my routine stronger, calling myself out on stuff I may have missed, given me a rocket up my ass, marketing calendar, structure, clear focus. And again, if you haven't watched Rachel's live in the team page, whether or not you're new or you're more seasoned, go and watch it. I got stuff from Rachel's call there. And that's just testament to what we are creating here, right? We're creating a team ethos. It isn't about what I say goes or what Joe says goes. Like, it's learning from people that perhaps you're going to relate to more than someone else in the team who is providing that feedback. And Rachel is a success starter. And on that note, I think she was a success starter on, well, she's at 6 now. No doubt she'll smash Success Club 10. I think she will be, when it happens, because I've no doubt she will do it, she will be the first success starter we've seen come out of this team, unless Sarah Kirkham might have done the same, but she'll be the only one who've hit Success Starter on Success Club 10 months, right? So she's doing something right, and you can see here, you know, she's taken the stuff from here and she's implemented it. And the difference between those seeing success and those not is taking stuff from training and implementing it. Not all of it, but just making sure you're taking action on the stuff you've learned, because it's no use us being squirrels sitting on nuts. Like, if we're going to sit on the nuts, they're never going to crack, are they? So really important. So a question, and this was something that I heard in some personal development I was listening to early on, and I wrote it down because I thought it was so like such an in-depth question, but so good for digging out more of your why and everything else. So you don't need to share this with the group, but just a question, and do answer it. Why do I want to become what I want to become? Okay, so what does it mean for you? Okay, so just answer it, and I'll give you like 3 minutes. Okay, so I've just shared mine there. I'll give you guys another minute, but do, like, if you feel up to it, definitely share it with the group, because that's really motivating for you, and it's motivating for others in the group to understand what it means to you. And it doesn't matter what it means to you. Hopefully they're all completely different things. I'll give you guys another minute. Love that, Gemma. It's amazing. So much a part of me, that as well. It's amazing. And if you want to share, great. If you feel really uncomfortable sharing, I don't want to make anyone share if they don't want to, but obviously if you do, that's lovely. From childhood, I've lived a life where I was dictated to in terms of my actions in my early childhood and leaving school for a career I didn't want to pursue. In my first marriage, where I was subservient to a partner who ruled through fear, I bust that open at 30 and swore I'd never live a life determined by anyone else ever again. That means becoming CEO of my own life. I love that. I resonate with so much of that. Rachel, I want to help women escape the poor food relationships that I've had my whole adult life, leading to some extreme disordered eating habits. I want to be more present and leave my corporate job. I want to work less. I have 4 jobs and it drains me. And isn't that amazing? Like, Rachel has 4 jobs and look at what she's doing. So when someone says they don't have time or as much time as someone else, it's just absolute bollocks. It really is bollocks. Joe, so I can prove to myself that I'm the strong career woman I used to be, and to build a legacy for my girls that we can share as a family for years to come, their children too, which is, it makes me emotional because that's exactly what we're doing here. And it's amazing the impact you can make on your own life and on other people's just by sharing what we do. Hard, I want to give up the corporate grind and not be sat at a desk 9 to 5. I want the flexibility to work how and when I want in a job that gives something back. I want to share my energy. And that's amazing. And I used to be that girl too. So I do understand that. Just change those two. I will give up the corporate grind. Write it down and see how you feel about it, because that's all available to you. So the second question to that is, what price are you willing to pay to make it a reality? And I don't think we talk about this enough. And when this came up on, so I think it was Les Brown, actually, I was listening, I don't actually know, it was one of those guys. I don't think we talk about this enough, right? We talk about wanting all this stuff, and I'm not for 1 minute saying that we've got anyone here like that, but we have these big visions, these big dreams. We get after, say our bat, like we do our tracker, and, creating these visions is going to take more than just the tracker. Okay. And I just want to share that, a lot of you guys know my story. And again, with this business, the thing that I love about it is that you don't have to build at the same pace as somebody else. You can build at whatever pace works for you in your life and you're willing to give, and you can give. But when I went from emerald to 3-star I went diamond in the December and I went 3-star in the May. I mean, I was sacrificing so much. And I just want to share that, because that question really made me think about the fact that maybe I don't share that enough with you guys. And again, I'm not saying you have to do the same, but if you want that trajectory, do I for 1 minute regret the sacrifices I made for those 6 months? Hell no, because I would never be where I am today. Just on the basis of the way that I work, I'm an all-in kind of person. I run at pace. If you know anything about me, I run at pace. That's just the kind of person I am. You might not be the same, but that took sacrifice. And when I saw Mandy Kai and the life she was creating and the life that she came from, where she basically had nothing, and she was then able to go and rent this amazing LA home and travel and go away with, her partner, it made me see how in a short period of time I could do something similar financially that would provide not the same as her, but what I wanted to provide for my family, and provide me the freedom from the PT, the gym hours, and the golf club hours, and the fitness classes that I was teaching, juggling around my son. And I saw that, and I saw the kind of hustle that she was putting in, and I kind of emulated it, right? So I literally went all in, and I didn't have all the hours, guys. I didn't have all the hours. I'll come on to that in a second. I literally would get up often really early. I'd have to go and teach an early morning spin class. I'd dump Arthur at nursery. I mean, literally dump him at nursery at all different times. I would go into the gym. I'd work golf club hours. I would then teach a PT. I'd do another class, come out, pick Arthur up around lunchtime. He'd have a nap. I'd maybe do an hour and a half. And then in the evening, so that's probably an hour and a half. Maybe I did 30 minutes in the morning, but I think for the most part I didn't. And in the evening, and when he'd gone down, often that's when I would do my workout. I wasn't picking programs that were an hour long at that time. And in the evening, I would regularly, he would go down, I'd try to have supper with Guy, but I would regularly work until 11 p.m. and I would get up at 5. Okay. And I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm not saying it's healthy. It probably wasn't healthy looking back. 6 hours is not enough sleep. However, I wouldn't change that for the world to have what I have today, because it was that momentum that provided me with that basically springboard that flew me into the stratosphere to create what I created, which was 3-Star, which was a business which gave my coaches belief in themselves. And remember what we're doing here. If you want to build that life, people that join you are going to do half what you do. Okay. And so it is your responsibility as a coach to own that, right? At the moment, I'm at Success Club 4 and I'm like, well, fuck, my coaches are going to do half what I do. And that's not okay. Okay. So I'm not panicking, but I'm also aware that that is not the example that I set. So lead from the front is a phrase that you should have printed onto your forehead. Okay. And if you don't have any coaches yet, doesn't mean that you don't lead from the front, right? Until I had coaches, which took me a while, I was literally in my social media banging that drum, talking about coaching, talking about the life I was going to create, talking about the vision I had, talking about it in my stories. Like people say fake it till you make it. I don't think it was fake it till you make it, because I believed it was going to happen and I cast it out and people could see it and they were like, well, fuck, I want to get on that train because she's serious about this. She's not messing around. And that inspired probably more people at the time then than I inspire now, because people could get in on what I was doing at a time where I hadn't really seen much success yet. So don't think that you can't create that momentum yourself because you're not a 3-Star diamond yet. I just went all in and took all these things upon myself. Bearing in mind, I'd had like no training like this. Like I had no idea really what I was doing. I was just like, I'm going to hit Success Club. I think I set myself Success Club 20 goal every month. And I knew that was going to be a lot. And it did mean that I didn't spend much time with Guy. Did I get dip from Guy? Did I get dip from Guy? Yes, I did. But I was like, you will see this. You will see what I'm going to create. Just you watch me. And I did. Okay. And I continue to do that. And he doesn't really give me any shit anymore. He does occasionally because he knows what I've created. So I'd say, Sarah, that's probably 2.5 hours a day. Probably 2.5 hours a day. But I didn't get caught up. Like if you're going into social media and you end up scrolling, you haven't got clear enough why or vision. Like I don't go and check other coaches' stuff unless I'm reading the inspiration from a couple of coaches that I really just love their stuff and they're quite like me. I won't waste a minute in social media unless I'm building my business in there. Okay. Because that was the person I became the day that I found that vision. And I was an emerald coach. Okay. But I was going for it. I had caught that vision and I was going for it. I do, but then that should be plenty. 8 to 11, but I have to get even more focused. Okay, so you've got to, if you struggle with that or it's things aren't clicking, you have got to dig out that vision more. Like, how does it look? Where do you live? Where do you go on holiday? What do you do? Like, how does it look down to the last detail? Oh, more on a timer, yeah. And this is, I didn't procrastinate. And okay, in the beginning we do procrastinate. And we're all the same. And, you know, I can see a lot of you nodding because we worry about what people think of us, right? That's probably the biggest thing that's holding every single one of you back to some degree, I should think. Making assumptions there, but I think it is. The moment that you put yourself on a timer and you say to yourself, this isn't about that person, this is about what I've got to share, and maybe it's not for them, and that's okay. I'm here, I'm in this block for 20 minutes and they're getting an invite. And did I worry about it? No, because I knew the power of what I had and how inspired I was and how much I was loving it. And I was like, well, if it's not for that person, it'll be for the next person. But if I spend my time worrying about whether this person's interested, well, I might have just missed that person who's going to be my person. Okay, so you've got to dig yourself out on that stuff. And again, that didn't come naturally to me, but I got hold of that vision and I saw what other coaches, you know, on national wake up calls honestly were doing. And I was like, I literally, and this is like from ages ago, why not me? Why not me? Okay. So why not you? Why not you? And maybe you can answer that question because you probably can. I can probably dig out, it's a mindset block somewhere. I don't have an Instagram business account. Should I switch? Yes, for sure. Because you can't see your insights. You can't work out what posts are working well and what aren't. And yes, for sure. So, you know, that come back to that question, what price are you willing to pay to make it a reality? And I want you to think right now, you know, you've all got different visions and goals. And I'm not going to say to you, your vision should be this and you should have this massive, massive goal. You might not have that. Okay. You might do. Great if you do. And if you don't, why don't you have a big vision? Is it because you don't believe it can happen or because you actually don't want it? Because often it's because we just don't feel like we deserve it. Okay. And that's not a reason to not get after it. So dig that one out too. But I want you to think about what you're putting into this business right now. Okay, small decisions like, this should really call you out on where your motivations are. Like, if we go and see friends at the weekend, I'm like, okay, cool, we need to leave this time and I need to be back at that time. I'm like that. I own my business. This is my second baby. And I'm not just going to spend like all day with a friend when I could get just as much from seeing a friend in 2 hours and still make sure that I'm pushing my business forward, because it means that much to me. So just think about that. The other way to really sense test that kind of how strong is my vision and why is if someone in your social circle, whether that's your partner or parents or friends, push you on something that pulls you away from your goal. Do you go, oh, okay, I'll get with the program. Okay, I'll just do it. Because if you're doing that, again, your vision and why isn't strong enough, because you're allowing it to be about them and what they want and not about compromising and making sure that it fits in your business goals. Okay, and that person who communicates with whoever it might be and makes clear why it's important, and makes that time, even when the going gets tough. Like even when I was away, as you know, like I was doing power hours. A guy was taking Arthur to the pool. He was taking him in the morning, in the afternoon. Did he give me jip? No. Did he give me jip in the beginning? Yes. Did I push back? Yes, because I was not like a dog with a bone and I was not going to let this vision go. Okay. So if you're not like a dog with a bone with yours, dig it out. Okay. And when I say dig it out, it basically means like, have you allowed yourself to really think about what you can do with this business? We have the most unbelievable opportunity as a team. I'm hosting the National Wake Up Call at the end of this month. Like I'm the first coach to ever do that. Not to blow my own trumpet, but to show you guys like the power of our team and what the network think of our team and the opportunities you have. Okay. And I know I'm going to build a 7-figure business. I'm going to do it. Okay. And I'm not just saying that to throw shit at the wall and give you a load of shit that I don't believe is going to happen, because it will happen. And that's available to you. But if you don't dig out your limiting self-beliefs or your blocks and get honest with yourself and sit down even for 10 minutes today, tomorrow, and just say, right, what do I really like? What do I want to, you can create whatever you want to create in this business. You really, truly can. Embrace going upstream. I mean, I love a challenge. So, give me a challenge, I'll stare it in the face, because I just love to be challenged in life. And I think most of us on this call, you've all got that ethic, which is why we're all bonded by that. But again, what price are you willing to pay? And if you look at what you've been putting in over the past 2, 3, 4 months and how you spent your hours, as Marie Forleo says, like if you were to look at every minute of every hour, can you honestly say that you were treating your business as the vision that it's going to be, or were you just negotiating on it? Because if you negotiate on it, every time you negotiate on it, you're setting yourself backwards on that path, right? It's a downward decision. And I'm not saying you can't build in family time, because clearly you can. But when you're building a business where you guys are at in particular right now, it's going to take persistent grind to get there. Not all day grind, but it's going to take consistency. Consistency, like Danielle said. Okay. There's a price to pay to manifest a dream. And that's exactly what Les Brown said earlier on. I think it was Les Brown. So just remind yourself of that. Like if you're finding it easy, you're just getting the tracker done and it fits into your life and it's all hunky-dory, guess what? You're never going to have that vision. It's just not going to happen. You've got to be willing to sacrifice. And what actions and sacrifice are you making? Okay, so I can honestly say, like, I've sacrificed family time. I still do. Do I feel like I'm missing out? No, because the alternative would be to be in corporate London, bawling my eyes out probably every day and being on someone else's clock and seeing Arthur for 30 minutes every day, because a nanny would have to look after him. So, it's just, of course, there's sacrifice, anything you go for. And then I wanted to just share, like, I was just thinking, like, how can I help the team? How can I really help them get cut and dry on parameters and things like that? And I know some of you guys are numbers people. And again, I'm not sharing this to make you compare yourself to me. Again, like as Joe says, like I'm 3.5 years down the track, but I do have non-negotiables every day. Okay. And I'm going to share those with you. And the numbers that I'm going to share pretty much been non-negotiable numbers, probably from like 2.5 years ago. Okay. So it's not like 2.5 years ago I was doing this full time. Okay. So just remember that I was building this in on a completely different schedule. I didn't have the days that I have now. So just to share like non-negotiables, Jo shared a bit on her team call that she led, or the training that she did, which was really amazing. And it got me just thinking about like my routine, which is probably quite similar to Jo's, but there are a few like, this has to happen. Okay. So when I get up, I do not check my phone. I will not check my phone. If you are getting up in the morning and you are being reactive, you are not taking ownership of you and your business, and you are being a yes person. Yes people do not build amazing businesses, okay? Be the badass owner of your business and refuse to respond to any form of message until you've done you first, okay? That is like it's a principle. It sits as a core principle for success. And if you're not doing that, that's where you're going wrong, okay? So morning routine is life. So that's number one. Number two, I'll make a coffee. I will come upstairs. Again, listening to Rachel, she does pretty similar. So this is, again, probably one of the reasons why she's seeing such amazing success. Focusing on my mindset, reading my personal development book for 15 minutes, and physically reading makes such a huge difference as compared to listening. For me, it's been a game changer. I also meditate. Again, I really brought that in since I have had more time. So that's kind of, a negotiable, but maybe you could listen to it when you go to sleep if you've got a really busy day. It's so effective just before you sleep. Then I write down what I'm grateful for, 5 things. I did a reel on this earlier. Gratitude, 5 things. Every day, doesn't matter whether it's Christmas Day, I'll do it. My vision for the next 5 years, my 5-year vision, and I write it out. Again, national wake up call. I haven't got around to doing it, but voice memo your vision is an amazing idea, because the best way for you to take in information is through vocal or audio. Because that could be another way. But my 5-year vision. So, where we live, what we do, where we spend our holidays, we are in that environment. So we live in a whatever it means. Arthur goes to, I put a private or state school, whichever works best for his education needs. We have the choice because we can afford to do whichever because of this business. So I write it in the tense that it's happened. And I think that's really important. And again, like stuff that I was writing a few years back has come to fruition. So don't skip this vision piece, every morning, writing it down, or if you're short on time, recording it and playing it back. So fundamental. Josh Coates goes on about it too. Like it literally is a game changer. Okay. And then my 1-year goals. Again, there was a national wake up call on chunking it down, which is definitely fundamental, but 1-year goals, and not making them too complicated, which is exactly what she shared. So for me, it's 100K and it's Superstar Diamond, which is what I've still got written down at the moment. Like, am I close at the moment? No. Did 5-star look like it was close at the beginning of January? No. So, just focusing on that. And then I write down my monthly goal, where I am on the basis of that monthly goal. And that is a Success Club goal. Because again, if I'm not measuring myself on Success Club because I think I'm beyond that, then how the hell are my team ever going to be able to replicate, right? So Success Club is really important for me to lead from the front for my team. Okay, so my Success Club goal, which is always SC30, ideally aiming for SC12 every week consistently. And then focusing on where I'm at for the month versus what the goal was, and then how I'm going to help my people. I write down individuals' names, like catch up with X so-and-so, develop to 6-star, for example, and then what I need to do that. And then I write affirmations, which again, I think a lot of you guys know, but gratitude, 5-year vision, 1-year goal, affirmations. And affirmations are the bit that I was like, I think this is just a load of crap and I don't think it works. It absolutely works, because so many of my limiting beliefs about myself were the opposite of what the affirmation was, i.e. like, I am amazing. Sounds like super basic. At the time I wrote I am amazing, I did not think I was amazing. I really felt far from it. Okay. Now someone said like, I feel like I'm amazing. Like, and I'm not saying that because I'm arrogant. I genuinely believe it. And that's the power of affirmation. So if there's somewhere in your life where you're constantly beating yourself up, you need to write an affirmation to change that and challenge that. And they're going to be really personal to you, but I promise you that works. And speaking them out loud, even better, but I write them out every day. I'm capable of whatever I set my mind to. I write that every day, and I genuinely believe that. So, write those. Write those. And that whole practice probably takes 7 minutes. It probably takes 7 minutes. If you're working full time, write them out, have one sheet of paper, and maybe read it, right? There's got to be ways around this if you need to pack that time down. Okay. So then I go and do my workout, and I really, really believe this. You'll see this in my stories, like mind and body is inextricably linked. If I haven't worked on my mind and my body before I do anything else, or I've done one and not the other, it just doesn't feel right. And that's because my body's learned to understand that. And if you're not in that flow with it, which I think most of you guys are, that's such a fundamental piece, and showcasing that. Yes, I'm meaning just fucking do it on law of attraction, speaking out loud about what you want. And do you know what? I don't do that enough. So that's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Rachel. So yeah, maybe I should start reading. Well, I will start reading those out loud. And my numbers. So then it comes in, and this is an ethos that I really like. I'm kind of just telling you need to do this, and I don't really care whether you think I'm holding a gun to your head. You need to do you, your mind and body, your business. No other coach, no other calls, no other prospect calls. You and your business is the next chunk. Even if you work full time, it needs to go in that order, because I've learned through doing it another way around that it just doesn't flow. Okay. So you and your mind and body, you and your business, and then coach calls or team is after that. And literally all top coaches will share that. I will not feed my team until I've fed myself. It is absolutely the way that your business needs to flow. Okay. So that's like, you guys will notice that and know that by now. Like, I don't do calls in the morning. I just don't do them, because that I've refused to kind of take that from my business time, which is leading from the front. Remember, that piece isn't selfish. That's leading from the front. You feed yourself first so that you can help your team, right? So important. That's how this business is built. Numbers, and I'm just going to chat numbers. I'm going to talk about how many people I follow. A lot of you guys have heard this from me before, but write it down if it helps. I follow 75 people a day. Okay, recently I've been following 50, honestly, because whilst I've been away, it has been really hard with Wi-Fi to fit that all in. But 75 is my non-negotiable. 75 people I follow. And this comes from the Josh tracker, but I've just learned it. And again, they're non-negotiables. Doesn't matter what's going on, these are non-negotiables. I start 15 connections, absolute minimum, 15 new conversations. If I haven't hit 15 new conversations, a bit like Melanie Mitro will share, like, she won't stop until she's found those 15 conversations. Because if we let that needle slide day by day, imagine how many less people we've spoken to. So set yourself a number and get after it, and do not negotiate on it. And if you negotiate on it, make sure you make it up the next day, which is often what I'll do. I'll work out the average over the week, and then I'll work out if I've missed stuff, and I'll make it up. That's how pedantic I am about numbers, okay? And I don't want to say this is a numbers game, but it is, okay? Quality over quantity, absolutely. But as Holly Hillier says, you don't know who that person is. They could be amazing. Their profile could look shit, and they could be your next best coach. So don't believe that, you have to go out there and look in their profile for ages. You just don't know who those people are. So if you're connecting with more people and you're building more conversations, guess what? You are going to hit higher numbers out the other end of the funnel, right? You're going to help more people, which means you're going to find more leaders, okay? Because you help more people. Don't just follow like really shitty looking accounts, by the way. But don't spend loads of time on it either. So, yeah, so that's and then daily invites, minimum 20. Again, that's off the Josh Coates tracker. I'm just going to share that. Minimum 20 invites. Again, if you're following that kind of number of people, it's going to be a given. And I have to be honest, now my account is the size that it is, I get less people following me back, because I think they think like it's much more generic and all of the rest of it. And I've really noticed that. So, for me, I probably get a less follow back rate, because people probably think I'm just not going to engage with them because I'm a massive account, which is interesting. And that's even through the hard, okay? And there's follow-ups in my spreadsheet. Like, you guys have got different tracking systems, I know, but if you do not have a physical digital tracking system, you do not have a business. I don't really care what Holly Hillier says. I just genuinely stand by that. Do you write them down, or just, yeah, I put them in my tracker? So you could write those down, Sarah, and then you could come back and invite them, as long as you're not missing people, which is why I literally use the digital tracker. And are you unfollowing in chunks? I unfollow 50 to now 75 people a day, because you'll notice, if you look at my account bit, like the problem Jem had, I'm almost at my max capacity for following. So I have to, which actually makes it hard for me to follow as many people as I want to, because I need to be unfollowing more people. So that's kind of the growth problem I've got right now. And I think that's why I get less follow backs, because people see that and they're like, oh, she's just, probably not unfollow me. Well, I probably might do in time. So that's a non-negotiable. And then a non-negotiable, like as Rachel said, like having clarity with a marketing plan, like non-negotiable every month. I don't care whether, there's a death in the family. This might sound awful. I'm still going to do a sneak peek. I was away for 3.5 weeks this month. I found a day at the in-laws to do a sneak peek. I'm going to do a sneak peek. I'm going to call it to action for a good week before it happens. And I'm going to do a Coach Academy group, okay, every month. I am going to create a boot camp every month, and I'm going to call that to action for 2 weeks. Thoughts on starting to begin again with a lower. Oh no, who would never do that? Couldn't. Like my page is my baby. Like literally, it's part of my creativity. It's part of who I am. Couldn't do that. But it's a good idea if I wasn't so attached to it. Yeah, I just wouldn't do that. It's just not who I am. I've lost my chain of thought. Unfollowing and marketing calendar. Yeah, if you're not got a cut and dry marketing calendar and maybe you haven't done a sneak peek yet, why not? Don't care if it's your first one, why not? Because if you want that vision, you're going to have to do your own sneak peeks, right? Everyone has a time where they do their own first sneak peek. Everyone shits their pants. Get over it. You'll be fine. It'll be done. Yeah. So the swearing is quite bad today. And who am I showing up as? And that should call you out on the numbers that you're doing. Like if you've got this big vision, and maybe there is someone in the network who you're like, I want to create a life like that, or I want to create life where I work like that. And look at what they've created. I'm not copying their posts, but are my actions conducive to creating that life long term, or am I kind of just sort of walking through the bat every day, i.e. doing like 5 invites, following 20 people? Because that's going to take you 25 years. Right? And I'm not here for it to take me 25 years. Am I making the business a priority? But those are the non-negotiables in terms of the numbers, and then my follow-ups, and every single follow-up on my tracker gets done. It doesn't matter, where I am or what I'm doing. If I miss some, it's not that they get forgotten, they will just go on to it the next day. Okay. So they always get done. And I'm honestly doing about 100 messages, whether that's message replies, likes, comments, whatever, follow-ups every day. If I'm not hitting 100 messages, that's like completely separate. I'm really not going to get there on the numbers. So just so you guys can see the kind of volume there. And again, it's not to draw comparison, but it's if you want to know how I'm hitting those kind of Success Club numbers, that's the plan that I follow. If I don't hit 100, I know I'm going to feel it in the next couple of months in terms of what I do in Success Club. And I just want to come back to you, like I know it's like 5 to 9. I don't want to keep you guys all evening. What I really want is, do you remember we did that in one of the calls? Like what I really want is, and that's similar to why do I want to become what I want to become, is what you've been doing going to get you there over the last 6 weeks even? Is that going to get you there? And again, like, we're in a tricky season. Some of us have been super sick. Some of us have been away. But for me, for example, I've been away and now I am raring to go. I'm going back up 75 follows a day. I'm going to absolutely nail this business because I know like I've been in a quieter season and I'm going to get after it. So are you showing up as that person who wants to get there? And I really want you guys to think about your plan of action for the next 3 months. What do you want to have achieved in the next 3 months? Break that down to monthly goals and reverse engineer it. You've heard us say this, like Jen, for example, is getting her diamond back. How many coaches does she need to get her diamond back? By what date are you going to do that? What the Success Club number is going to be? Because it is that simple, particularly for diamond and 1-star. It is that simple. Okay. And then as we've shared, like, okay, am I putting enough in the top of the funnel? Is what I'm doing, have done over the past month, have I actually stuck to those numbers? And if not, why not? And maybe am I doing numbers that they're not quite high enough and I'm not seeing enough return on the other end? Okay. And I can honestly, hand on heart, say, if you say you don't have time, I can promise you that to do 20 or 40 invites probably takes 5 minutes more. It honestly, once you've got a train of action, a solid block, it is to up the numbers is actually the least amount of time. If you're finding it difficult on the time, you are procrastinating, and you've got to call that out. You've got to dig that out. Why are you doing it? It's self-sabotage. But I honestly promise you, you don't need 79 hours in the day. What order did you do your engagement in? How long do you leave between follows to chat to invite? Okay, so I follow them when they follow me back. Usually I wait to the next day because I do it all in one chunk. So it's one of the first things I do. Exactly. Thank you, Joe. That's exact. She's up to her numbers and it hardly takes any more time. People will follow me. So in the morning, the first thing I do in terms of like me and my business is I go in and I see who's followed me, who's new, and I send them a message. And it really depends. But often for me, because I'm really into fitness and I'm a PT, I ask them about fitness because that's just the kind of person I am. Then what I will do is strike up a conversation, and usually now I've got invite 3 days later. Okay, again, for example, it depends what season you're in, so it's kind of not a straightforward answer, because last week I was calling to action my bootcamp, and I could see these girls that were like really into fitness, were really engaging on my stuff, like just my kind of people, and I didn't want to invite them into a bootcamp because I was like, I'm going to invite them into my sneak peek. So now I've invited them, but I've built a conversation with them. But I would just say with bootcamp, I'm less likely to do that, right? If I don't think someone's good coach material, I'll build a little bit of a conversation, and I will just get the invite out. And I'll just share, like, you might have seen in my stories, I've got this awesome Marla studio come out, you know how to invite. But if you're struggling on time, just get a cut and dry system, i.e. generic invite in your notes section saved, copy, paste, edit it, make it personal. But for goodness sake, don't spend 20 minutes doing one invite, because you're never going to build that business. I love what Joshua shared, because it's so true. And that's really it. And I want to just, finish the call by saying, if you're looking at me or another coach in the network, or you keep asking somebody how they do it, I want to be honest, you do not have a clear enough vision or why. Because I didn't know how to do half of the shit that I know how to do now. I did not get taught how to do it. I just had this clear vision, and I literally was like, I'm going to fucking figure it out. And I got after it. Okay. So often in this business, we can ask for loads of answers on how to do something. And actually what we need is the fire under our arse, that motivation. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And maybe I don't have all the answers for how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to take action, and it's going to be messy. And I'm going to fall on my face loads of times, because that's what it's going to take to achieve that goal. And it really does, guys. The more that people fall flat on their face, the more that they grow and build amazing businesses. I get some narky messages occasionally, and I probably get more than everyone else because I've contacted more people. Do I let it piss me off? And do I think, oh my God, I'm doing the worst job ever? No, because I know the value of what I do. And I don't really give a crap if somebody doesn't understand what I'm doing and the value I'm adding, So just remember that you have all the tools that you will ever need. And the best version of you knows how to figure out every single thing in this business. The best version of you knows how to figure out every single thing in this business. And that's absolutely true. But you've got to believe that, because there's no magical unicorn coach. They're all different, and they've all just decided to figure it out. And that should give you the most amazing autonomy to say, do you know what? I can create whatever I want to create with this business, but I'm going to have to get myself uncomfortable, and I'm going to have to call myself out, over what I've been doing, like maybe the past month, 2 months, 3 months. Jo said to me, Jo is a perfect example of this. She said to me, we chat back and forth. We don't actually have many one-to-ones at all. Again, something that a lot of you guys know, really successful coaches don't have many one-to-ones. And I said to Jo, like, do you want to have a chat? And she's like, no, I know. Self-awareness, write that down. Self-awareness. She said, no, I know exactly what I've done wrong. I know where I went wrong. I know what happened, and I know what I need to do to sort it out, and I'm going to go and sort it out. And has she sorted it out? She's already hit Success Club, right? So we all have shit times. We all have shit months. Jo lost her dad. Like, it's horrific. It's so sad. Did she let that define her business and what she was going to do? No. Did she suffer at the time? Of course she did. But she's her own business owner. She's figured it out. And now I have this feeling we're going to see Jo like absolutely fly up to the stratosphere, because she's not willing to blame it on anyone or any circumstance. She just says, do you know what? I know what I've done. This is all on me, and I'm going to figure it out. And you need to be that person if you want to own that business. Do I ever blame Mackenzie for not giving me the coaching support that I would have liked? No, I actually thank her, and the only person that is going to build this business is you. It's not up to your upline. It's not up to, your partner who's giving you a hard time. It depends how much you want it. I get a hard time sometimes. Do I go, oh, well, fuck it, no. I just push back and go, watch me. And every time I do, my business grows. So remember that through difficult times is where you're going to find the greatest growth, but you've got to get self-aware on that stuff and dig it out. Because if we just continue to bob along, we're just going to bob along. That kind of click of the switch where you see these coaches like Rachel suddenly take off and Jo suddenly take off is because they've gone, oh, right. Oh, okay. Oh, now I need to do this. Right. Off I go. And you've got to dig that out. No one else is going to dig it out for you. Okay. And that question number 1 to finally finish, it's 1:09. Danielle's checklist. Am I being proof the products work? That is the greatest indicator of what your business is doing. Okay. And hand on heart, being honest, have I been on unplanned whilst I've been on holiday? No. Has my business been flying? No, it hasn't. But I know what I need to do, and I'm self-aware, and I'm not blaming that on anybody else. But that number one is what's going to be the biggest damager to your business. Okay. So just recommit. We all have times where I need to recommit, and I'm not magic. I need to recommit. That's fine. Anyone got any questions, comments, or no? But you can, honestly, each of you can create whatever you want to create with this business, and I genuinely believe in each and every one of you. We've got the most amazing opportunity here in this team. You have the most amazing opportunity in both hands, and don't ever forget the ability you have to change someone's life, not just their fitness and health, their whole life, their whole family's life. That's amazing. Right, I'm gonna